So, Vince, let's talk defense. I think that this was an excellent defensive class.
Right.
There's one area where I was like, I would have liked better at safety, right? And we'll
Yep.
get to that as a position group. But overall, this is an outstanding defensive class. The front seven is as good as just about anybody in college football right now. A&M has a better D-line class. Notre Dame has a better linebacker class. We can have that conversation. It's one of the 3 or 4 best front seven classes in all of college football, in my opinion.
Right.
And it's exactly what Marcus Freeman and Mike Elson want. Outside of the Heinisch pickup, length for days. I mean, Aiden Gaber and Tyson Ford are giants. Josh Burnham is a freaky long dude. Jalen Steed's only like 6'1.5", 6'2", but he's so long. He's a lot like Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah in that regards. Nolan Ziegler's super tall and long. Junior Tuihalamaka is 6'2" with long arms. This is a really, really good defensive class.
Yeah.
And to me, it was what they needed. It not only it added impact talent, which you need at all 3 levels, which we'll get into. They added impact talent at all 3 levels. That's the key. If you just add great D linemen, that's great. That'll get you so far. But if your guys can't cover, then you're going to be in trouble. Now, we've said before, a good secondary can look great with a great D line, but you can't have a below average secondary with a great D line, right?
Agreed.
Ohio State has proven that a couple times in the last 3-4 years. And you can't have a great secondary and then an average defensive line, right? You need to have at least one impact player on all 3 levels for it to be a great class. And I think they did that, which I'll explain here in a little bit. But of course, Vince, it starts up front.
Yeah, always.
The need in this class, they needed at least 2 defensive edge players. And they got them. They wanted at least one interior player. They got them. I think the defensive end class is outstanding. It's A-, B+. I gave a B+ for the whole group. I kind of lean towards an A- on the defensive end class. I kind of go B- for the nose tackle, and B- it's a B- because of the name. I'm just going to be honest with you. If his name was Donovan Jones and he didn't have an older brother that we just saw work his butt off to be a good player,
day in and day out,
and you said this when he signed, I agreed with you. Donovan is a more athletic player than Kurt was, and probably a little bit stronger than Kurt was. Kurt was bigger, but so that's a good football player. But your edge players, I mean, to me, the highest ceiling of anybody in the class is Tyson Ford. I mean, he to me is got the highest ceiling. Now he is
not just because his mom was on the show earlier,
right?
Today.
I mean, I had him as the number 1 kid in the class before. Right. Now, I got to calculate all my grades. He is not the number 1 player in the class based on current grade. That's Jalen Steed and Josh Burnham. He is, however, the number 1 player in the class when you incorporate current grades with upside grades. That's when he jumps up to the top. Because his I mean, to me, you like comps, he's Stephon Tuitt. And probably a little bit more. He's not quite as big as Stephon was, but he's still pretty big. I think his burst off the line to me is better than Stephon. Stephon was way more advanced as a player. I mean, Stephon had hands, and Tyson is real raw, but man, his get off and his natural power is really, really good. Real quick super chat here, real quick. Chris F said, Brian, do you have a comp for Tobias Merriweather? T. Higgins. I've said T. Higgins. I mean, he is T. Higgins. I mean, to me. I mean, and yeah. I mean, that's about as good of. I mean, that's about as precise of a comp as I'll ever come up with, in my opinion. So that's my comp for him. But back to the D line, Vince. I gave it a B+. That's where I went. What was your grade for the defensive line?
Yeah, I was in the B+ range because I love the edge talent, and it's hard for me because they didn't need interior help a whole lot because of what is on the roster right now, right? They only needed 1, and I get that. And look, I like the Heinisch kid. I do. Like you said, I thought he was more athletic than his brother, and his brother turned out to be great. I mean, he was a 6-year player at Notre Dame, right? So if he could equal that, then that's a great pickup. But there were more dynamic guys on the interior out there that they missed on. It's not like they went to Heinisch.
Yeah, you talking like Anthony Lucas, Hero Canoe. Well, they dropped Hero. They missed out on Anthony. Yes.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
There's a couple guys they passed on. Like they passed on Caleb Artis, who went to Penn State. That surprised me a little bit. But I think what they were doing is they were banking on, look, we've got a lot of really talented guys. We need some locker room guys.
Yeah.
We need some motor guys. We need some guys who are going to put their, like, that's the thing about Kurt. And you ask anybody on the team, if you're not bringing it in practice, it's not Foskey, it's not Adam Iola, it's not Tungvaloa Mosa, it's not Drew White that's putting their foot up your butt. It's Kurt Hinish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they need that I'm overlooked, I'm disrespected, nobody thinks I can play at this level. I think they feel that they need that attitude, and that's why they went. Because I don't think if Kurt would have gone to Pitt that they would have taken Donovan Hinish. That's just my opinion.
Sure. No, I agree with that completely.
But because Kurt showed them
they know Kurt. Like it's a known
and
commodity.
They've known Donovan for 5 years.
Right.
This is a kid Mike Elston knows as well as any recruit in his class.
And I think that's
because he met him when he was recruiting Kurt.
It's a major reason why he's in this class. Right. I mean, let's be real clear on that. That's a major reason he's in this class because of who his brother is and because they knows the family and he knows Donovan from 5 years ago. So yeah, I don't have an issue with them bringing him into the class. I would have liked one more interior guy.
Right.
And again, I know the numbers that are.
I don't think the numbers would have worked because here's the thing we got to consider: they want to do more 3 down.
Right.
We have to think about that. Right. They want to be more of a 3 down defense.
So that's going to
they're going to take those scholarships
and they're going to move them back in the defense.
Exactly. And they've got so many guys that already fit that mold. I don't know if it could have made sense to bring in more than 2, unless it's a freaky guy that can play other positions like Anthony Lucas.
Right.
But you got the 2 edge guys and Aiden. I got to go listen to Mike Elson said it differently. I think so, like Gobira. I think it's something he said. He said it differently than what I've been saying it, and I'm assuming he has it right since he recruited this stinking kid. So I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. And then of course I love Tyson Ford. So I mean, to me, they're both top 150-ish caliber players. Tyson Ford's a top 100 player for me, and both have 5-star upsides.
Right.
So I think the quibble is the defensive tackle. Should you have gotten somebody better? Should you have got a second guy?
And that's my only quibble.
And that's to me what brings it down to a B+ in my opinion.
Yep.
And you know, somebody makes a point like, you know, you're not going to beat the best teams with Donovan Hinish. I don't know if they're necessarily bringing in Donovan Hinish to be the starter. It's to be a part of a unit. And if he beats people out, it's because he's going to be like Kurt. But look, the reason Kurt has beat out some of the guys he's beat out is because he was on campus 2 years before most of those kids showed up. Sure. If it was reversed and he came in after Jacob Lacey and after Howard Cross and after Riley Mills and those kind of guys, he's probably not playing. So, you know, you kind of got to look at it that way.
Sure.
And he's just a great rotation guy. And as we're seeing now too,
you do need those
we're
guys.
seeing them play a deeper rotation than they have in the past too. So that has to be factored in as well. So when I look at the next level, Vince, so that's defensive line. B+, did you say B+ as well?
Yeah. Yep.
Let's move.